Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hollow Knight! Last time, we went into Crystal Peak, among other places. I feel like we did something else important first, but that's the only thing I can remember right now, so yeah, Crystal Peak it is, screw wherever else we went. Anyway, we climbed up towards the top of it, did not quite reach the peak though, maybe another time, but we did go to this area and get ourselves a new ability, the Crystal Heart Dash that I just used at the beginning. And with that, we actually found our way back out to Dirtmouth here using that elevator. I think we also took a look at the resting grounds and found a weird, creepy place that led to a less creepy place with a mourning person in there who wanted us to take a flower somewhere, and sadly, we cannot do that for her. This time, there's lots of places I could go. This is the point when the game gives you so many possibilities where you can go at once that, like, it gets really overwhelming, so I'm trying to decide, but I think towards the end I'm gonna start heading down this direction. Whether or not we fully explore down here, we'll have to see, but in the meantime, I feel like something within my mind is telling me to go back to the King's Pass. The beginning of the game, the very, very start. We dropped down here at the beginning of our whole journey, then made our way out into Dirtmouth and went from there. And I feel like there was stuff there that we haven't done yet. Now that we're much more equipped than we were at the very beginning, I'm gonna head back that direction. You say anything? The caverns do continue down deep below. Yeah, I understand that. First of all, though, we're gonna take a stop off at Slice Shop because he has two new charms for us to buy. Let's see what these do. Heavy Blow. For 2 notches, your nails knockback is increased by 75%. Nah. I mean, if you have 2 notches and have nothing better to use it on, if you've already equipped all the other good 2-notch charms, I guess. It's just that there's a lot of enemies in this game that being bosses that take no knockback whatsoever, in which case the charm is literally useless. And for those that do take knockback, you're just pushing them further out of your range, so it's harder to hit them again. I think it might have some level of use when combined with another charm, but that might be more of a fun use than an actually good use. Speaking of good uses though, Sprint Master is not as useless, although it might seem that way at first. For the low price of 1 notch and the 400 geo of admission, increases your running speed by 20%. If you put this on within Dirtmouth, you might not notice the difference straight away, and that's because Dirtmouth and other such, like, important locations slow you down upon you being inside of them, but outside of them, the charm works just fine. We can also buy this elegant key if we so desire. I don't know how many of these I have. It's quite rare, so I'll have to charge you a high price. By the way, he says this is the last mask shard, but if you give him the shopkeeper's key, he actually finds more, so this is not the last mask shard. It just says that it is for right now. I guess we'll buy this and then make our way down below eventually, see where that opens, and I'll leave the others in your inventory. Why not?
Oh, come on.
Pockets feeling empty? Nope. They are stuffed with 1800 geo. Hey, Bretta's back! Has your story changed? Has your fan fiction about me changed in here at all? Oh, that's right, I have Soul Eater on. I haven't been using that very much. I guess we may as well equip Sprint Master while I'm here. Let's take off... Sure, wait, no. The area I'm about to go to, Gathering Storm, is actually fantastic. So I'll shed Grub Song for it instead, because I've not worn Wayward Compass nearly enough. Alrighty then. We head back towards the left side of the area where we started the game. Before, we would have been faced with an impassable wall, but with the Mantis Claw, climb right up. You're allowed back inside. Man, the memories. Ooh, look at this. This is Sprint Master. You also have a special running animation while it's active. Oh, looks so nice. Dashing doesn't even make you that much faster anymore. Yeah, your legs are doing the legwork now. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do to begin with. So this area, remember this? Came down here, saw a geopile, saw these spikes, and was like, nah, we can't do this. Well, it is true that you need dash to reach that platform. Or do you? Yeah, you can just bounce along the spikes. And if you're at the start of the game, you can come over here and get this before exiting. It's pretty cool. Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Within our lands, do not hide your true form. Let all bask in your majesty, for only this kingdom could produce one such as you. I do love these billboards throughout the King's Pass going like, higher beings, just a reminder, you're awesome. It's like motivational posters. Everyone needs something like that in their room, except this one, you know, this one's just for the higher beings. If you're not a higher being, you can get stuffed. You're not awesome, screw you. Interesting statue in the background that looks a little angry, guarding yet another charm. I'm getting charms so fast, I'm not gonna have time to show all of them off. Fury of the Fallen. For 2 notches, the charm will do nothing most of the time, but if you are reduced down to 1 health, the damage of your nail is increased by 75%. Spells are unaffected. Spells and any other form of damage, aside from perhaps charms that use your nails damage. I'm actually not sure about that, but anyway, you get it. Your nails damage is increased by 75%. A good buff, but honestly, I think it should have been 1 notch instead, because it only activates when you're at literally 1 health. The next hit will kill you guaranteed, and otherwise, the charm does absolutely nothing whatsoever. So I think it's a little bit pricey for what it is, but it could save you in a pinch. Alright, there's nothing new to see here. I guess I may as well go grab some of the lifeblood health that was back this way. I think I've gotten everything else. Wait, no, I haven't. There's something else I've forgotten. Remember that geopile that we couldn't get because we fell past it? Now I can finally go get that. This one, to be specific. Like I said before, if you're at the beginning of the game, you can, like, dart left immediately and land on this ledge to get it if you want. But, of course, if you don't already know that it's there, you won't get it. More than likely. Unless you react super fast. I'm sure someone's done it. I like how you bounce off of these things, but you don't bounce off of the grass upon cutting it. The grass just isn't hard enough, doesn't provide enough of a force. Doesn't provide enough Newton's third law for you. Just thought I'd come back to the start of the game, you know. The very beginning, our first ever controllable position. I don't know what to call this, but, you know, this was our starting point. We just leapt in from up above. I remember thinking that the game had fall damage in it for a while. I was like, does this game have fall damage in it? When the drop down in the intro is supposed to demonstrate, no, it doesn't. The knight survived that fall, you can survive anything else. With that said, I didn't do it before, but the standard rule of Metroidvanias, or any side-scroller that has any amount of open-ended exploration whatsoever, is always go left from the starting point. And if you follow that rule, there's actually an extra hidden geopile for you. And a chimney. A chimney, which at the start of the game you can't do anything about because you don't have Mantis Claw. You make your way up the walls. You emerge into a secret area. It's not that secret of an area, truthfully. There are other ways to find this place. But this is more of a hidden way to discover it, and I thought this was really cool to discover. Welcome to the Howling Cliffs. This is the location where the knight was in the opening of the game, just before jumping off. You can actually revisit it in the new 2D side-scrolling plane that you can see it in, and this is the point where we got that beautiful view at the start. I wish you could see that view again from here. That would have been a really nice touch. If you drop down here, you will fall back into King's Pass as normal, just like the beginning. Apologies for all my stammering this playthrough. I feel like I've done a worse job with keeping that under control in this playthrough compared to others, but it is a normal pattern of my speech, no matter what video I am making, I guess. Or, like, I feel like even live streams I don't do as much. See? I'm stammering right now. I can't think of what to say next. So instead, let's murder some tick-ticks and then backtrack. The knight's backstory and why exactly they're here isn't very known. Even as you discover more and more of the lore and more of the world space of the game, I'm still not entirely sure where the knight came from, why exactly they were outside of the kingdom. I'm making it sound like the knight came from the kingdom, was born here, even though we don't know that yet. Pow! Could have come from anywhere. Could just be an outsider from lands unknown. The only other character that looks anything remotely like us is Zote. I guess we've seen some other bodies in the environment that resemble us a little bit, but nothing more than that. There are enemies in here, and I see this opening, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to reach that, sadly. So instead of that, let's die to the spikes, and then let's go see what this cool statue was up above that I ignored and backtracked from. Hi there, Mr. Big Brain Worm Guy.
I am Gorb. Bow, 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 bow to Gorb. The great mind. I am Gorb. Ascend, 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 ascend with Gorb.
While ascending does sound fun, sadly, the areas I have yet to go to are below me, so I'll have to refuse your offer, good sir. Oh god, I didn't think you'd be that mad after refusing. Gorb here shoots daggers in all directions, all kinds of directions. I think you see where they're going, you move far enough away, and then you jump or dodge or whatever you need to do to get out of the way. After you've damaged him enough, he'll start shooting two at once, or not two at once, but two right after another. The second burst will go in the areas where the first burst didn't. Be shot in the directions that the first burst wasn't. There we go, that's proper English. It is wise, if I'm describing a boss's attack patterns, it is wise to describe them as succinctly and clearly as possible, which I haven't done a great job of doing in this battle, but it's fine. Now he's doing 3. The third burst is exactly the same as the first burst, so just go back to where you were there. If you were to get far away from this battle, there's a little secret behavior with Gorb. You can't just run away, and if you do that, he starts shooting these daggers at you from long distance. I never usually saw this because I never had any reason to run away, but if you're trying to run away to heal, he will start doing that to kind of like, you know, you're not completely safe from him. Okay, honestly, he should be really low since he's doing the 3 bursts and all. SES spells really take him out. Yep, there we go. Warrior Dreams are never that complicated. It's usually just one attack pattern that only gets slightly more challenging as the fight goes.
I'm Gorb. The great mind, the pain, ascend. I am...
You're nothing but an old, tired dream now. What a weird little character, by the way. Like, what the hell? Here lies Gorb, the great mind. On my first playthrough, I discovered this area before getting the Dream Nail. That's how out of order you can play this game. And I saw this gravestone, and I was like, who the hell is Gorb? And, you know, that's all the message you get otherwise. It's just, inspect, here lies Gorb, the great mind. Like, who the fuck is Gorb? And then you get to find out later. Hi. Alright, what a way to reveal that there's a hidden wall here. Oh, what? There's just a little hidden corner with a geopile. I don't think I've ever gotten this geopile before. I did not know that was there. That was cool. And what a way for me to discover that, too. Who needs Who needs platforms? There we go. The strategy is to wait until after you're done to say it. That way you don't seem as uncool as I did just then. This nice little bench with an ominous mask in the background. I've had my fun with Soul Eater, but I think I'm gonna try something else. I'll go with Deep Focus. I would put on Quick Focus, but I don't think we're gonna need that much too soon, and you know, I would like to at least show off Deep Focus's effects and get some use out of it before I end up neglecting it accidentally. I don't mean to neglect some of these charms, it's just, you know, sometimes the fact that I haven't put them on slips my mind. This looks like a battle. Maybe I should have put on Quick Focus after all. It's fine, I'm experienced with this game. I know what I'm doing. Let's inspect the room so we know what we're dealing with first, and then... talk. Well met. Yes, I thought I could sense the aura of a fierce warrior approaching. I'm impressed you found my sanctuary here at the top of the world. No doubt you've endured many trials and overcome many foes in your quest to find me. Yes, many trials, that is, returning to the start of the game and going left. No, don't speak a word. I, Nail Master Mato, who was taught the art of the nail by the great nail sage himself, hereby accept you as my pupil. Let us begin the lesson immediately! Aw, I thought this was a boss. You're telling me this is a class? Well, I mean, we all know how combat trainers work. The class is the boss. Or perhaps not. Yeah, it's not a boss fight. It's not a battle. You don't have to do anything. You just watch a little cutscene of your knight guarding with the nail, which is a move you can never do. Interesting. Anyway, mastered the Cyclone Slash. Hold attack to concentrate energy into the nail. Release the button while holding up or down to perform the Cyclone Slash. You don't have to hold up or down yet. That control thing is for later. Your form. Exquisite. Now I know how my own master felt when he passed down his teachings to us. I hope you don't think me too forward when I say that I consider you to be my child. Yes! When I saw you perform my nail art, I felt a bond between us suddenly flash into existence. You honor me beyond words, my pupil. Thank you. All I did was press yes in your dialogue prompt. I didn't even do the nail or whatever. I know we did it off screen. This is what that looks like. You can now charge up your attacks and unleash the Cyclone Slash. You honor me beyond words, my pupil. Thank you. What are your thoughts? My brother Shio, how fare you in that green kingdom of thorns you call home? I think of you every time I raise my nail. Do you ever close your eyes and remember the time we spent together with Oro and our master? I like to think you do. Guess we'll have to find Shio and Oro and their master somewhere else. That is all for now. Yeah, that's just a free nail art, and then you move on. Free new attack. Takes up an extra slot in our inventory. We can see we have 2 others to get. What the game does not tell you about Cyclone Slash, it actually has a couple of extra properties. Well, first of all, let me tell you about its damage. Since nail arts are based on the damage of your base nail, the actual damage that it's dealing will depend. Right now, for me, with the 2nd level nail, Cyclone Slash deals 11 damage per hit, and enemies can take multiple hits from it. It can hit an enemy multiple times. It's gonna insta-kill all these guys, because these guys are like the first enemies in the game, but yeah. Ordinarily, if you just hold down the button and release it, I think it gives like 4, 6 hits, something like that. I'll have editing me confirm that. But if you release it and then continue to tap the attack button, the attack goes for longer. In addition to this, let me just get you out of here. Never mind, okay. I think if you use Cyclone Slash while in midair, which, by the way, you have full control over yourself as you're charging it up, no slowdown at all, you release it in the air, I think there's a little bit of, like, falling latency, for lack of a better word. No, there isn't. Okay, but if you tap it while in the air, you fall slower. That's 2 things about the ability that the game never tells you about, so I thought I would tell you about them here. Get as much use out of them as you might. You might not get a whole bunch of use out of them, and that's okay. I forget about the nail arts, too. There's a certain charm later on that makes the nail arts so much more viable. I guess they're always kind of viable. No, that charm makes them like 10 times more viable. It's crazy. All right, let me try it on you. Okay, it's hard to tell how many hits it deals unless you're like next to something that can take a lot of damage, and right now, that's not this area. Like, I pulled out the lantern real quick there. So, there are some areas that are only a little bit darker than, like, the pitch black hallways, and the knight still pulls out the lantern for those, and I think there is actually a lighting difference. Like, those areas are slightly brighter with the lantern than before. In fact, I think Deep Nest has a lot of those rooms, so when we go back to that place eventually, I'm gonna have to, like, show a comparison or something. I think that'd be cool. Be an interesting little factoid. So over here we have a long way down. It's a lot similar to that big vertical room in Crossroads, except it's even taller than that, and even wider than that, and like 10 times bigger than that. And it also has Cordifer inside of it, which we briefly heard over here, and here's his papers. He always leaves around the place. Enjoying the bracing air? We're quite close to Hallownest's borders and those desolate plains that surround it. In this direction, I'm about as far as I'm willing to go, though it's been a pleasant change from the tight confines of the caverns. I've drawn out a small map for the area. It's a simple one, and more for completion, really. Not knowing the full extent of a region can be quite frustrating. As I know all too well. Not having the full map of games like this is the most irritating thing in the world. I think we can all agree on that. Here's the Howling Cliffs map. Yep, goes all the way down to the bottom, and it connects here. This mysterious room that we entered and were unable to pass through initially because we didn't have dash yet, connected up to Howling Cliffs all along. And I think we could have actually gone a little ways in with just dash, though I don't think Howling Cliffs is accessible without Mantis Claw. I'll have to check that later. You have an entrance around you. Should I do that right now? I guess we could. I mean, we're right here. So I would like to go out this way. There's a lot of stuff that you can easily miss on the very outer edges of these platforms up here, so... Okay, this geopile I already got. Alright, I guess we will go back there then. Bounce! I don't know how, like, for some reason, the positions of the platforms in this room have just been carved into my soul. That's how many times I played this game, I guess. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I never talked to him a second time down in wherever that was, or in Crystal Peak, wherever that was. I think he mentions that he got himself jabbed on one of the crystals up there. That's about it. I chanced upon a strange bug atop these cliffs. His house isn't far from here. A very imposing figure he was, and no doubt lethal with a nail. I suspect you two might share more common than him and I. If you come from the other direction into Howling Cliffs, he gives you a little spoiler that guy exists. To chart the worlds. What joy. If only Iselda could share the thrill. That's what he thinks about all the time as he's doing this. Seriously, that's his only Dreamnail dialogue. He doesn't think of anything else. I love mapping, if only my wife could agree. That's his thoughts. At all times. I meant to say at all times there, and the T didn't really go out there. Alright, here we have a pretty unremarkable cave with a slightly remarkable spike pit, and a slightly remarkable mechanic in the form of Vengefly ambushes. As you go throughout the place, you will notice Vengefly spawning in from the background. Like that. They normally don't do that. This is the only room that happens, I think. Ambushes aren't anything new. We've seen them happen with, like, the sentries in City of Tears, but this is the one and only time Vengeflies are in on it. And this wall up here is actually clingable to-able. Never mind. I lied. It's not. Okay, Leaping Husk. I like how I can still hear the wind from the entrance, even though we are below the floor of that. Oh god, below the floor in front of it, so we shouldn't be healing it at all. Here's Quick Focus in action. I believe it doubles your healing time, I want to say, or it's like 50%. Well, I can't remember the exact numbers. It's longer, though, you get it. But you only need one use of soul to heal 2. Can also be kind of nice when exploring like this, because, like, you use less soul on healing overall, could make room for you to use extra spells. It is a very costly charm, and, of course, in bosses where you only have like a few windows to heal, it's not that great, but, you know, bosses aren't the main content of this game. I guess, are they considered? Well, I mean, like, they're some of the most popular content in this game, but, you know, the exploration takes front and center stage. I think it's what you spend most of the time doing in the game. As prevalent as the bosses are, like, they're not the part of the game. They're not, like, viewed on the same level as Souls game bosses, I wouldn't think. Then again, maybe they are. I don't know, I'm not sure. Alright, that was that. Little platforming section. It is kind of a challenging platforming section, so I guess Deep Focus is pretty good for it then. Let me just heal up that one, except it takes slower. I kind of wish that if you only had one Mask of Health to heal, that it would speed up for that one, and it would only slow down for when you needed to heal 2. Then that could offset the huge cost by a little bit. Got some lifeblood in here. Cool, I guess. It's lifeblood. Man, what an exciting cave this is, isn't it? Rule number 1 of exploring. Never judge a cave by its entrance. Joni's Blessing. For 4 notches, your maximum health count is increased by 40%. With the mask count I have right now, which is about 7, that turns into 10 masks. In exchange, all of the masks are turned into lifeblood, meaning you cannot heal them, and you need to rest at a bench to recover them instead. So it basically makes you more healthy, but you can't heal anymore. Interesting effect, little expensive for what it is though. Again, I don't think it should be 4 notches, it should be 3. Because I guess Joni's Blessing could really help you in some cases, but it's like, benches aren't that common, so not being able to heal that health, it's a pretty big downside. Anyway. This is, by far, the coolest charm pickup section in this entire game. I was purposely going like, man, what a boring location this is, because I think it's so cool how this place starts as just a nothing little cave with some spikes, some Vengeflies, some standard husks, and then you get to the end and see this. Not only is it a cool piece of world building, almost, if you try to leave, you'll see a spirit appears here.
Ah, I see you bear my blessing. I can't remember giving it, but my memory has been a little lacking of late. Isn't it just so peaceful here? Such a perfect place to rest.
So not only do you get this cool piece of lore, but you have this freaking site awaiting you. I swear, there is not a single room in this game, there is not a single route to take in the entire game map that doesn't lead to something interesting. Everything is interesting in its own way. The most mundane little hole in the wall can take you to the coolest places. That's why I love this game, and games like it. This game really perfects exploration in my eyes. I'll go over more detail on why I think that is in later episodes. And again, I guess we are pretty deep into this series, so some of these I'll talk about them later topics I should probably get to at some point. It's just, you know, we still haven't explored that much of the world, considering. I wish there was a bench down there. That would have been the coolest thing, but, you know, maybe they had a design reason for not including one there. Either way, I'd love to just sit there and watch the lifeblood butterflies or whatever they were go by. Also, kind of like, it's kind of cool how the lifeblood plants here, if I go back. Yeah, these things. These are actually creatures, and they can detach from the stems and fly away. That's pretty cool, and you only really see them doing that in there. I like that. Anyway, back out into the mundane area with the mundane cave that had that hidden inside of it. God, I love this game. Let me just kill you when you're down under the platform. If I were that enemy, I'd be raging, I'd be throwing my controller at the screen like, what the fuck? Fix the hitboxes, developers! Alright. Geopile, making our way slowly but certainly down this room. Do we have a secret here? No. We do have a corner for humming, though. 1993! That's the release of Sonic 3. I guess that's somewhat on topic. That's like the most popular video I've ever made. It was on Sonic 3, so yeah. Honorable mention to Sonic 3, randomly in the middle of this Hollow Knight playthrough. Alright, smack you. Going down, and hi, cracks in the walls, I see you. You're hiding a sign from me. You're hiding more lore from me. Lore that apparently the knight missed on its way in. Higher beings, these words are for you alone. These blasted plains stretch never-ending. There is no world beyond. Those foolish enough to traverse this void must pay the toll and relinquish the precious mind this kingdom grants. This billboard is interesting, because I think it's indicating something special about Hallownest, and this is like the only place you hear about it. Outside of Hallownest, you aren't sentient at all. You don't have a mind, you can't think. And supposedly all the NPCs we've been meeting who are able to talk to us wouldn't be able to talk to us. Outside of Hallownest, you're supposedly just a normal insect, kind of like these Vengeflies. Except, well, you know, how are the Vengeflies inside of Hallownest not having a mind? Well, we'll get more into that later. Plot reasons, you know. Wanderer's Journal here, very cool. But yes, it is a nice little detail about this. I didn't really put that together myself just because, you know, I read those things and I'm like, sure, whatever you say, random billboard, I'm sure I can trust you. I had the feeling the game was going to go in a direction of like, look at how freaking pathetic Hallownest was. This kingdom sucked. This is a good thing that it's dead. For some reason, I've kind of felt like the game is going to go in that direction. It didn't, but... And so I was like, oh, the billboards from Hallownest. Oh, wow. So interesting. Yeah, I'm going to trust you. Something like that. Out here... is a king's idol for making it all the way out here. If you dream nail this, no king, no mind, release. You've released yourself of the mind. No mind for you anymore. Try to go out here, and eventually... That's an off-topic question. Next, you have been stopped. You can actually keep dashing, but you'll hit the border of the screen eventually. Can't leave Hallownest. You're here for some reason, and you gotta keep trying to find out what that reason is. And besides, between Hallownest and not being in Hallownest, I get the feeling Hallownest is the far more interesting option of those two, so we're gonna stay here for a while longer. Wow, that pattern of freaking essence was really cool. It looks like a Christmas tree all lit up, but flying away from the tree. That was awesome. Speaking of which, it's almost December. At the time of recording and uploading, because I'm going to be uploading this the next day, most likely. And Christmas is on its way. And I have to say, I don't know about any of you all's opinions on the holiday season, but I freaking love Christmas. I've always loved Christmas. It's mostly because I get cool things, but you know, aside from that, I've always loved the feeling of it being cold outside, but you being warm indoors under a blanket with hot chocolate, probably with a cat sitting on you as well. And you know, seeing the Christmas tree, the cookies, the green and red colors and whatnot, green, red, and white colors to signify the place. It all comes together to create this lovely, lovely feeling that I look forward to every year. It's hard for me to describe. It's kind of a nostalgic feeling a little bit. Like, every time it happens, I'm like, oh man, time for this again. I missed this from last year. And then, as soon as December's done, it turns into the new year. You enter the sucky part of winter, where it's just the bad parts of winter, and, like, I guess the only positive is that it's cold, and I like the cold more than I like the heat. But aside from that, it just kind of sucks now, and then it overstays its welcome because I live in the Midwest, and winters around here last forever. But yeah, Christmas is on its way, and I'm very excited. And the other holidays are pretty cool, too, from what I've seen. I do like, you know, the feeling of having the candelabras for Hanukkah. I like those. I don't know, what do you call those? They're not just, like, candelabras. They have a special name, right? I don't know, there's something. Editing me, look it up. That should be all the essence for you. Indeed. And now, I can leap off the edge and... I didn't know how I was going to continue that. I'd fall down, succumb to gravity, you know. It's like Newton's first law. It's not, but, you know. At some point, I'm going to show what one of those things looks like as it's transforming. It's pretty cool. Down at the bottom of Howling Cliffs, remember that we are heading in the direction of Green Path, so we're going to be meeting an old area. I was going to say meeting an old friend, but I'm not sure if you could call an entire region of the world a friend or not. Maybe you can. I won't judge. I saw that! That's the top of a jar! A grub jar! This grub is surrounded by stalactites. They're expecting you to be hit by them. Just like, you'll be so invested in like running in to save them immediately that you'll be distracted and not notice the stalactites. This area. This was the infernal gap that we could not cross before. This is the remainder of the room that just, that stems off of Green Path there. And this was the one and only jump in the room we could not make back at that time. Now we can. Leads to a chest with... 1 geo. It is kind of rules with game design that if they give you a completely useless treasure chest, there's probably something more to it. Jump into the chest and you were greeted with this battle against 2 Elder Balders. And, spoiler alert kinda, the final 2 Elder Balders in the entire game. Since I have 4 uses of soul, may as well waste no time blasting one to death. There we go. You approach here with 3 uses of soul, I feel bad for you. Now, this actually kind of demonstrates one downside with upgrading your nail, one minor downside that you may not think about. Since the amount of soul that you get for each nail hit never changes, as I said, the only property of the nail that changes is its damage, this means that the higher damage your nail does, the more you have to hit enemies in order to get more soul. It's a subtle little trade-off there. So you see, I had to hit a lot more of those little balders than I would have before. Whereas before, 3 hits was enough to get another use of soul. Now I'm killing them in 2 hits, meaning I only get 2 pieces of soul. I only get 22 soul. I still need to hit them one more time for a full unit. There's a bunch of dead balders over here, or at least their shells. And speaking of shells, that's exactly what's here, the balder shell. For 2 notches, every time you're about to start healing, entering the focus animation, the balder shell will protect you. If you were to take a hit during this time, you will take no damage, but you will still be knocked out of the heal, and the heal will be cancelled. The balder shell can block 4 hits before breaking, after which it needs to be replenished at a bench. This isn't that bad. It's perhaps it's the only form of, like, actual defensive move that you can get in the entirety of Hollow Knight. It's the closest you get to a shield. Like I said before, you can't guard with the nail at all, unlike what the knight was doing in that cutscene, unlike what that cutscene before might lead you to believe. Otherwise, the only way to avoid damage is to evade, but if you'd rather try blocking, there is a charm for that. Though it is still limited in use, you can still use it. And you also need soul. You need enough soul to initiate a heal in order to use Balder Shell. I think Balder Shell is best equipped in combination with a bunch of other tank-related charms, and now that we have it in our possession, I think I could actually, like, try a tank build of sorts eventually. I remember running into a bug here and, like, continuing to run into a bug on a lot of playthroughs where, after killing these guys, for whatever reason, the mid-boss theme, like the action battle theme, likes to keep playing every time you pass by, even though they're both freaking dead. So I don't get why that is, but it is. That's how it works. While I'm back in Green Path, I guess I may as well make some progress on Hunter's Journal entries. The Mosskin is one of the hardest ones to unlock, because they're not that common, and yet you have to kill like 15 of them. I'm very close to getting Fool Eaters and also Gulkas, so yeah. I'll be on my way to do that real quick, and then we will move on to other places. Wherever those other places will be. I haven't fully decided yet. Ooh, I think we can get that now with the Crystal Heart. Let me just take you out. I am very close on their entry as well. Yeah, now we can dash all the way over here and grab a Hallow Nest Seal. At some point, we gotta make a trip to Lem and sell him some of this stuff. But that's for later. Oh, damn it! I was trying to, there we, no, what? All right, one more try. Oh, fuck you. Ooh, you know, now that we have the Lumafly Lantern, we could pay a revisit to here, see what this is about. The Stone Sanctuary, we are right nearby, no reason not to. Leap over, get that guy to, yes! Okay, that's how you do it. You have to jump over the pit, and then as they're starting the attack, that way they target where you last were, which was directly into the freaking pit where they died. Congratulations, guys, you really sucked. Or, it was just one guy, you know. I like to think that it was more, though, for some reason. This is much more like it. Now that we can properly see in this place, we can start dream nailing these bugs, see if they have anything to say. Okay, no, they don't. That's right, I remember. They actually don't have anything to say at all. I think I know what this is about to lead to, and I may as well show that all warrior dreams are completely optional. You never have to fight them to access anything more in the areas that they're in. All they give you is essence, and so for this case, you can just go right through, reach the end of the place, and get yourself yet another Mask Shard. I'm gonna need to go buy a freaking Soul Vessel fragment so that I can, like, catch up. Allow the Soul Vessels to catch up with all the freaking health upgrades I'm making. You know, this is a really nice room. I agree with those mask flies. I would also love to fly down and immediately perch as soon as I'm gone, because this is a nice room. Despite the creepy-looking statues, this could almost be a bench. And I like the light coming in from above. Still don't know where the light's coming from. Maybe from Un? Sorry, I'm hiccuping. Happens when I talk for long enough. One of the sucky things about talking. Alright. What's your deal?
My child, can you still see? Please don't hurt me. Can't sleep with your eyes open, little one. Can't dream if you're still breathing, little one. Precious children. You speak such loathsome things as you sleep. Your claws scratch and scrape. Precious children, a monster has come for us in the dark. Will you sing for me?
Who might your children be? Suppose there's only one way to find out. No Eyes! One of the more unique bosses in the game. She just kind of floats around, doesn't do a lot actively, but she sends her children from the sides of the screen after you. One thing I like to do with this boss is because she's very stationary, doesn't really try to dodge away from you at all, I like to use nail arts. I don't know how effective Cyclone Slash is gonna be, but then again, it might very well be more effective than others from later on, you know. I already said the fact there's 2 more nail arts to get. I don't consider that a spoiler. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. There we go, got you. Let me, nope. I want to kind of watch where they're going, watch their trajectory and avoid it that way. I forgot I still have a deep focus on. That's fine. I'll go with that. There's also no music for this. It's just her humming. And if you're wearing headphones, you can hear where she teleports to thanks to her humming, so you know which direction she's in. It's a nice little vantage. I would recommend wearing headphones for this fight for that reason. Though, I think it's still pretty obvious. Yeah, you can see a glow on the screen where she goes. So it's not that bad if you don't have it. This boss can definitely be hard, especially because as she gets low on health, yeah, you're seeing they're much more frequent now. Oh my god, I have to really, really dodge them. I remember getting super, super low on health on my first attempt against this boss. Okay, pow. And oh god, oh god. Cool, cool, cool. I found that the platform at the bottom here is a mostly safe space. There is one ghost that can go over it sometimes, but they don't show up very often. That's that. I say that a lot now, don't I?
One by one, their eyes closed at last. I felt it, a warm stillness falling over us. I'm sorry I was frightened of you. You were always protecting us even when we couldn't see you. Take us there, please. A place where light cannot haunt us. A place without dreams. Please.
And now it's just a face carved from stone once more. The mystery is finally solved. And it's just as kind of unnerving as we thought. Let's read their journal entries before we move on. I am Gorb! Gorb, that's it. That's his lore. A mysterious life form that could claim to contain all the world's knowledge inside of its distended brain. Hasn't demonstrated any of it, though. They're coming. What's inside of you? Strip it out. No eyes. So I think the idea here is that something is invading people through their dreams. And No Eyes, along with her children, I guess, I'm not really sure what the relationship is, decided to try and avoid it by not falling asleep, not dreaming whatsoever. And one of the ways they went about that is removing their eyes. And that explains why she's called No Eyes, why she doesn't want her children to sleep, or so I think that's what her dialogue was. I don't know. Hard to tell sometimes with the warrior dreams what exactly they're talking about. And I think there's a good reason for that, which again, I'll cover later. There's actually, speaking of spirits, there is a certain other way. Now that we have, like, almost 500 essence now, there is a certain person I should be visiting with the essence in hand, and I think I'll be making my way there after I'm done having acid baths. While I'm thinking of it, let me buy this. We need one more of those to get a second thing, but that's fine. We're now at least further progressed in that upgrade line. About as far as we are with health, I'd say. Back in the resting grounds, I think we've only visited the seer once, so we are long overdue for our next appointment. Actually, I think it's only been 2 videos. Whatever. Ah, Wielder, you've returned. Let me have a look at the dream nail. Ah, your dream nail holds over 200 essence. You're proving your talent in its collection. Have you seen that great door just outside? My tribe closed it long ago and forbade its opening. Ah, but as far as I can tell, I'm the only member of my tribe still breathing. That means I needn't feel bad about breaking a taboo. As proof of my belief in you, I'll open the door. Wow, that was a big door explosion. The particles reached all the way in here. There, the door is open and you can enter the glade beyond it. Listen closely in there and you may hear the utterings of bugs long gone. So, you've collected 300 essence. Yes, I can see the dreams of this old kingdom are starting to cling to you. Very encouraging. You've certainly made my dreary work here more exciting. Being the caretaker of this place hasn't been very stimulating. I shouldn't complain, though. Tending these graves and guiding the wielder, all penitence for old crimes. Crimes? What was I saying there? Certain things have to be kept in balance. Take this trinket for your efforts, and return with 500 essence. Keep up your tireless work. You're right, tireless work. I don't think the knight has even slept once. Hey! Pale ore? That's the thing we need for further nail upgrades. I'm probably not gonna go get one just yet. I would like to keep going with this nail damage for a while. Just because I feel like, with the way that I approach this game now, it's possible for me to get, like, overpowered way too quick. I guess it's not overpowered, but you know what I mean. I like to keep a good pace on the bosses going forwards. Behind this door is a special part of the resting grounds known as the Spirit's Glade, and it is the final room that we've uncovered to play this music. Enjoy it while you can. It's not going to be around for much longer. The Spirit's Glade doesn't have a lot to see in it, but it does have a lot of ghosts.
The bugs within this glade are under my watch. Treat them with respect and you may remain, but raise your nail and you'll contend with me. I assure you, Wanderer, my nail is sharp and I'll not hold back.
Try me! What he means here is Dream Nail. I've yet to go over it, or I think I have actually gone over it, but if you do use the Dream Nail on spirits, it supposedly kills them and turns them into a single piece of essence for you. I don't know if it's really killing them, but Based on this guy's dialogue, I think I'd believe that it is. I'm not really sure. Anyway, got a bunch of spirits. Careful not to use the dream nail around them. You are already reading their thoughts. They don't have any more thoughts for you.
Buy my cookies. They're ever so tasty. Buy my cookies. Once I've sold them all, I can go home. Beware your own mind, little one. Twisted minds breed dark deeds, and mine was more twisted than most. I thought it would be my end, but instead I found this glade, and with it, a sort of peace.
Such a nice little waterfall. Or I guess it's a bunch of waterfalls at once. I also love how the resting grounds is made out of those faces. It's kind of like the masks that make up your health bar.
I used to help others. They were brought to me sick and dying. What difference did it make? Any victory against death will always be temporary. Any victory against death will always be temporary. What a gloomy thought.
Don't fear, little creature. Though a violent rage once possessed me, the peaceful air in this place seems to keep it at bay. My appearance should not cause you worry. Here, I am truly at peace. Are you a warrior, little one? A true warrior is one who can stand strong in the midst of a storm. Stand strong, little warrior.
In the midst of the City of Tears, I have absolutely stood strong.
I was once obsessed with power, though my time within this glade has shed me of such desire. What a folly it was to ever crave such a vicious thing.
That's what every Splatoon manga antagonist had to learn eventually. I'm curious, how many of you know about the Splatoon manga? Comment down below if you do.
We're always left with reminders of the errors we've made. Let your mistakes not burden you, but serve as guideposts on where not to travel.
But then you drop a bloodstain or and that's a different game series, but you know what I mean. You drop a shade there, and then you have to travel back there to get it, unless you've had talked to Gigi, I guess, whatever.
These husks around my neck? They're my precious friends, always there to keep me company, and much better for conversation than the rest of the odd lot around here.
And I'm assuming better than me as well.
You like my nails, little wanderer? I carry only 3, far less than legends may suggest. Still, each is sharper than the last, and I'd require only 1 to cut you down.
I like that. His name is 100 Nail Warrior, but it's only 3.
Aren't my nails the most wonderful things? Their gleaming blades, so sharp and deadly.
The reason why I'm not talking to them anymore is because they only have 2 things to say.
Are you admiring my fabulous markings? I'm of a distinguished species, you see, though I've not seen another like me for the longest time. You don't seem to bear the markings of rank, though you bear no markings of a lower form. What are you? Do tell me, are you a higher being, or just another lowly grub?
Don't call the grubs lonely. They're adorable. Or lowly, I mean. They might be lonely, but they're adorable. They are not lowly.
Are you enjoying your time in our glade? I'd offer advice, though to have made it here, you've obviously quite adept at navigating our world and its perils. You're very impressive for such a small thing. I'm something of a warrior myself, though even I'd hesitate to raise my nail against you.
Yeah, you better be scared.
Don't fear my rotting form. Though my body sheds and changes, my core remains the same. Though my body sheds and changes, my core remains the same.
All of life's problems can be solved with a crushing force. Such a simple mantra, who I've always lived by. If you weren't so scrawny, I'd suggest you follow my example.
Don't judge me by appearance. Though my stature is small, I bear a dark soul and a tendency to go berserk in battle.
Get the reference? References? There's 2 there.
You wouldn't have the guts to face me anyway.
And that was the 3rd.
Hark, fellow adventurer, are you heading out into the world? I'd join you, but it's been so long I fear I'd lose my head.
Hate to tell you, buddy, but,
I'm envious of you facing this world without fear. I could stand to learn from your approach.
maybe that is just your normal head position. I don't know, I can't tell.
Watch out! I have an acidic touch, and I wouldn't want you getting burned. It's a protection system of my kind, though something of a nuisance when it comes to meeting others. Don't get too close. I'd not wish to cause any harm.
I'll see you soon, she said, although that was long ago. I wonder where she went. Did she take the kids? Go bother someone else. You're not the one I'm waiting for. That reply probably cut pretty deep. I'm sorry.
Ah, a wanderer. I've been many places and done a great many things, but I suspect you will outdo me by far. I've long since ceased traveling the caverns of Hallownest, and I suspect they're now far more dangerous than in my journeys. Though with your capable air, I'm sure you'll do fine. Good luck. It's a vast world out there. Find it strange to see a moth-wielding weapon? We are a passive species, though I'm not the only one amongst us to take up arms. Another braved to the edges of this world, hoping to uncover a truth long forgotten. I wonder what became of him.
I came from far away to reach this place. Though my shell may seem foreign, beneath it I am a bug, the same as you. You too are a warrior? I see your nail, but your shell seems underdeveloped. In your current state, to travel a land as dangerous as this seems unwise. Your face seems unwise. That was a little mean, I'm sorry. I think that's all of them. Yeah, this just takes you to a lower level and you have to climb back up. That's all of the many, many people there was to talk to in here. The many, many people of the past, I guess. Back here, of course that wasn't the end of this place. We got another whispering route that I think will get us to 500 essence. At least it should. Oh yes, it absolutely will. And while I'm collecting it, let's talk about this place a little bit. I think this place is really cool. Just the fact that you get to talk to a lot of former citizens of Hallownest, or like, former explorers of Hallownest. Now, they're all so different looking. They've all got, like, all sorts of different personalities. I like it a lot. But, that said, you may notice their dialogue is a little one note. They're definitely not fully fledged characters. They only have, like, 2 things to say. They kind of tend to say the same stuff about, like, wow, you're such a confident little explorer, aren't you? Good luck out there, I guess. There's a reason for that. Back in, I want to say, 2013, Hollow Knight had a Kickstarter. And the Kickstarter was successfully funded, as I'm sure you could tell as the game is released now. As a Kickstarter backer, if you pledged enough money, one of the rewards was that you were allowed to design a character and even, like, write dialogue for them. I think if you pledged up to, like, $400, $600. And so these are all backer-created characters with dialogue written, presumably, by the backers. That is why all the ghosts' dialogue have, like, 2 things to say, and that it doesn't really have anything to do with anything. It's because, obviously, the people who haven't played the game yet, and, you know, the people who only know about the game at the point that it's still in development, don't know what the rest of the story is going to be. So, naturally, the characters and their dialogue is kind of a little bit out of place for that reason. That said, I think it's a really cool thing that Team Cherry did for the backers, and like, you have so many different really cool little creative character designs. I especially love Magnus Strong up towards the top. This guy's pretty cool too. Looks a lot like Cornifer. I believe some designs for characters like Cornifer and Beretta and whatnot were shown off to Kickstarter backers as well, so they were allowed to like take the art style and make their own spin on it. This guy kind of looks like a zombified version of the main character. As that guy down at the beginning said, hit anyone in this room with the Dream Nail and he will actually attack you. You have stray pixels there, sorry to say, buddy. He will actually attack you. He deals 2 damage as well. I think you have to hit him with the Dream Nail in order to get him away from you, but so yeah, don't do that. Maybe in a future episode I'll show what that's like. Maybe. Possibly. Anyway, there's another feature involving this that I'd like to show real quick. In the pause menu, under options, go to, I want to say game, backer credits. What I thought this did initially is I thought that it showed all the Kickstarter backers and the game's end credits, which otherwise don't appear. But no, if you talk to a character created by a Kickstarter backer, it doesn't show you. 1 second. Here we go, you have to leave the room and come back. It'll show underneath their name, the name of the backer who created it. And, fun fact, it's not just the spirits. A lot of the regular NPCs were also created by Kickstarter backers. I'll be officially revealing that at a later time. I just thought that was pretty cool. I'll be leaving this setting off myself just because I think it might distract a little bit from game immersion, but if you'd like to turn it on and have these people recognized in your own playthrough, go right ahead. Makoto Koji, interesting. It is pretty cool that they added this, though, that they allow you to see who made what whenever you want. Yeah, you have to go out of the room to reset it. Were you made by anyone? Ah, by Revik. Cool. So you created yourself then. All right, let's talk to the seer one more time with 500 essence in hand, and then this video's been going on a while. I wonder how I'm gonna end this.
Ah, Wielder, you've returned. Let me have a look at the dream now.
That was the worst I've ever said for her so far.
500 essence. You're a master in the making. Well done. Well done. I have a small reward for you.
Well done, small reward time.
Plucked from one of my most precious memories.
This charm will bring you and the dream nail closer together still. The secrets of the kingdom won't be able to hide from you any longer.
Take it and return once you have collected 700 essence. More gifts await you.
God, we're getting so many new charms, it's crazy. But man, this is a good one. I guess not necessarily good or great, but it's a really nice one to have when you're about to use the dream nail often. Dream Wielder. For just 1 notch, the dream nail's use time is decreased by, I want to say, 37.5%. And you gain 2 uses of soul upon hitting an enemy with it instead of just 1. That's why I was confused the first time, and I thought that dream nailing enemies gave 2. They do, but only if you have this charm on. To show you just how much faster the dream nail swings, let me just go shove this charm on. And in fact, why don't I get all these off? We're putting on new charms now. I guess quick focus. Why not? I don't know how much combat I'm going to be doing from this point on, but I guess Fury of the Fallen, maybe I could demonstrate it out in the wild, and then, the only remaining one to make sense. Look at that! That is so much faster. It's so nice to use. If you think you're about to be using the Dream Nail often, put on this charm. You will not regret it. It's only 1 notch. It's a great filler charm for that reason. Alright, now that that's all done, what to do next? Okay, I have an idea now. To end this video, we are going to head somewhat in this down direction, but we're not going to go all the way down here just yet. I want to briefly go back into I want to go back into Royal Waterways, and I want to see what this is, because if you remember, there were certain specific pink crystals down there across a huge gap that we might just be able to traverse now, thanks to our new ability. So let's go check out what that's about. And while we're at it, actually, never mind. I was considering equipping Defender's Crest to show what that's like. But nah, I think I'll put that off a while longer, and then before we know it, the playthrough will end, and I will have never equipped it a single time. Nah, I'm sure I will eventually. It's just, the charm's effect on its own isn't great. It's like occasional passive damage, and that's about it. Do I have you guys' entry yet? That was dangerous. Good thing my invincibility frames were still in effect. Defeat 2 more. Alright, I'll probably do that off camera as I'm about to wrap up this video. How about that? We'll be getting their lore entry before you know it. Alright, I do like how you can real nice and conveniently re-enter the Royal Waterways from here, because otherwise you have to travel a pretty far distance to enter, but now you can just go to King Station, go to the left room, go left again, and down, and then enter. Perfect wordage. You know exactly what I mean, right? After defeating him, and then resting at a bench, as you can see, he's still alive, and he'll be here to talk to you. And he's friendly now. Oh, it's you again. I'm glad to see you return. No, please, don't say a word. I must apologize for my previous behavior. Entirely my fault. I mistook you for one of those mindless skulking husks, yet you bested me in the most majestic knightly fashion. Such joyful, vigorous combat. I'd almost forgotten the feeling. I was once a knight, you see. By the grace of our good king, I stood proudly before the throne, watching Halonest swell to greatness. Then that nasty business with the affliction. We knights defend against the physical, but a formless enemy? How to defeat such a foe? Our king tried in his own way. A cruel means it was, and still, eventually, we were brought low. But I shouldn't be more morose. You've invigorated me. 'Tis truly a delight to meet one whose strength can match my own. Go now, mighty warrior of Halonest. You've proven your honor. Good fortune on the path ahead. He's so nice. You never expect it. Like, after he attacks you upon entering, you never really expect him to be this nice to you afterwards, but no. He's so good, even though he's living in a pile of shit. He's just friendly enough. I don't care. The kingdom's dead. What else does he have to look forward to in life? So there were others. I guess he's talking about me. All right, I shall go and mighty combats and honor and whatnot on the path ahead or something. Oh my god, there's even poop on those things. Oh god, okay. Oh god. I love it when I don't know what to say, so I then decide to fill in the space by commenting on the fact that I don't know what to say. Top 10 tricks for recording YouTube videos. Unscripted YouTube videos, that is. I should really do scripted content more. In fact, I have plans in the works about that, but I'll cover that more a lot later. Probably like a couple months, if I had to say. Or like however long it takes for me to finish this playthrough and move on to the next thing. Alright. That worked. They're still alive, huh? Pow! Yeah, gotcha. Stupid idiot. Idiot, stupid, idiot, stupid. Hey, we got you! Adaptability is an important survival skill. If a problem seems insurmountable, try approaching it from a different angle. The pill flips live by that so hard that they weaken themselves in the process, sadly. It's a sad tale, but yeah. Sometimes you get too into your species' whole thing. I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's dash across. Well, that looked threatening. That is the lower reaches of the tall chimney room we've been passing through on occasion. What is that line at the top supposed to be? What is that supposed to represent? Anyway, we are now on the opposite side. Got acid to climb around. Got a crystal dash to help us climb around it. Dash to the other side. Show off quick focus. That's how much faster you heal. It's pretty nice. What other charms do I have? Oh yeah, I have Fury of the Fallen. I'll show that someday. I don't know. There's not a lot of good places to use that just because, you know, I don't want to be at 1 mask of health. It's clearly based off of other such abilities in games where, you know, you have low health and your attack power is bigger. It's a risk-reward thing, kind of like in Paper Mario, that badge. If you're in danger or whatever, your attack power gets increased. But I think those work better in other games, or they work better if, you know, it's like, if you're at 15% health, not 70% health, that's way too high. If you're at 15% health or something, then you get the buff. Not if you're at literally 1 hit away from dying like this game. And in Paper Mario, there was a badge that only activated if you're at 1 hit away from dying, if you're at 1 HP. But that game was a turn-based RPG, and you could, like, plan ahead by giving yourself a buff that made you invincible to attacks in order to avoid that and get the benefits. So you could, if you had good strategy and you had good execution of it, of your strategy, you could get around that. Oh. You know, I totally forgot that this was here. I suppose no reason not to check it out. Only those who prove their honor in combat may enter the grove beyond. The Defender. If you have yet to defeat Dung Defender and have yet to hit the lever past him, this area will be filled with acid. But now it is no longer. We go inside, we see a much more leafy area of the sewers. I never knew sewers could make good garden beds, but I don't know, I guess in Howlnest anything is possible. Hi there. Brava! What are you all doing down here, by the way? What are you doing down here? Your patrols have taken you to such terrible places as this. Why? What, did it, like, was this an order from on high or something? Or did you all just decide to hang out down here and now you're like, this is like your break time I'm intruding upon? No matter which of the 2 entrances you take, you'll enter this combat arena where you have to fight a few of these guys. This is not as hard as the one up above King's Station that leads to his vessel fragment, thankfully. You can kill them pretty easily. Take out both of those. Both of those, you know, those creatures, those objects. No. Those enemies, those living beings. Ow. Got you. And that was that. I blasted the other one with Soul off screen. Just gonna show. This way goes the same way. I'm not sure why there's 2 entrances, but there are. You know what I was saying in this video about mundane looking areas leading to the coolest places? Welcome to example number 2 of that very phenomenon, I mean. Isma's Grove. In the middle of the sewers, there is this gorgeous, bright green area to find. And you only get to find it if you've beaten Dung Defender. So I guess, like, the process of unlocking it is just as fun as the place itself. Jump across, we can see there's acid all along the floor here. And then there's you. You have a thingy for me. Consumed Isma's tear. Acid shall be repelled. Swim in acidic waters without coming to any harm. This is the main difference between acid and spikes, and other such hazard floors. Eventually, you unlock the ability to turn it into a non-hazard. It now functions the same as regular water. We dream nail you. Ogrim, there's no time. Who is Ogrim, I wonder? I probably shouldn't hit you. I'm like forcing the information out of you. Who was Ogrim? No. I'll just take your tear and move on. Such a memorable little experience. I love how they make acquisitions of those items as memorable as they do. Like, you're in the sewers and you find this area and it gives you a new ability. I love it like that. Makes it stand out a lot more to me. This delivers you here. This is right above the combat arena we just fought in, but there was another direction. And this grub to save. Should probably verbally acknowledge it. Out to the other edge, you are unable to leave Isma's Grove unless you go grab that tier, or Isma's Grove. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it, but you exit back out into this area. Doesn't look familiar. It should hopefully start looking familiar. Yeah, there was a blood sack there before. Now it should be familiar. Maybe, possibly. There's the defender sign, so now we go this way. Hiya! Hit you. I remember in my first playthrough thinking that the defender sign was referring to the combat arena of sentries inside, just outside the entrance to Isma's Grove, but I had already fought Dung Defender a long time ago in that playthrough, and I guess I just kind of forgot about him. No worries, this game is big, it's hard to remember everything. No worries, past me. I hope you're not worried about that past me. You're probably not. You don't get anxious over things like that. Just a guy walking back and forth in this room. Wow, how useful. Thanks, buddy. And this. We're inside someone's little chimney. Someone who finds everything very, very funny, apparently. Either that or they're crying. Hard to tell sometimes. It's kind of funny how, like, laughter and crying sound very similar, so you can never tell which one someone's doing. Hello there! It is me, the knight! I just crawled out of the sewers into your house. Do with that information what you will. Ah, what a surprise! It's not often I receive visitors. It's been so long. Ages, even. I just hope my manners haven't left me. You've no doubt sensed my affluence. You're right to guess, I'm renowned amongst the upper caste of Hallownest. Well, I was, once, until those cretins cast me out. Have you met them, my former fellows? That's them outside, their bodies shambling around all mindless and empty, and I'm still alive to witness their pathetic demise. I'm just so happy. Fate can be a wonderful thing. Isn't life just wonderful? Sure, whatever you say. On the topic of Kickstarter backer characters, Eternal Emilicia is one such character. Let's see what her thoughts are. No doubt this one will meet its demise at the nails of the city's guards. I'll outlive you too, little grub, as I did all the others. That's not true. I can respawn. Can you respawn? I didn't think so. Well, the others can, so maybe you can too. But you'll respawn in like a dead zombified form, so that doesn't matter. That is where this window was leading to all along. We've opened a shortcut back down in City of Tears, and we've also opened yet another way down into Royal Waterways, should we ever feel the need to revisit that place for whatever reason. Now, with all that said and done, I'm gonna get the last 2 kills for these guys that I need, and then I'm gonna go sit on a bench and end the video. 2019. Interesting year. Kind of a struggle of a year for me. There's their lore. Let's read about them. An extremely rare thing, a bug of Hallownest that actually poses a threat. Honestly, like, yeah, they deal 2 damage, but they are so easy to avoid because they pay basically no attention to your existence. Watch them carefully as they can lash out quickly with devastating strikes. They have like 2 attacks. I'm sorry, Hunter, you're kind of hyping them up a lot when they're really not that much. sitting on this beautiful bench to close us off. Next time on Hollow Knight, I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do this video, but it's gonna be the next video instead. I don't know why I decided to word the outro that way, but I just did. Thank you all for watching, if you did, and as always, I will see you all in the future.